Welcome to the Deep Six podcast, where we make a generational impact on you and yours. What we do here is explore a 6-point model into your health, your life, and your journey while you're here. So let's dive deep and help you thrive, not just survive. Hello. Welcome back. This is Dr. Lewerenz at the Deep Six podcast. Thank you again for joining me and my community here and my guests. And like always, I have an amazing guest. And we're going to probably have to have many of these because we go back, me and this guy. So it'll be fun and educational. And before I start, though, I do have to say this, a public service announcement. All the kids leave the room. Anybody?
This could get serious.
This could get serious, yeah. And just got to give you a heads up. So, great stuff. So I have Mike Young with me. Mike Young is a comedian and entertainer and actor. And
nobody can get it right. Director, writer, comedian.
Yeah, all that stuff, right?
It's okay. I've only known you for 49 years.
Dude, I don't even, I couldn't.
And I tell people I'm 44, so.
Perfect. Love it.
5 years before I was born, I knew you.
I'll help with that math later. Yeah. But yeah, no, Mike is a great guy, Detroit native. We grew up together. Our parents actually, our father, were best friends.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that. But so we've known each other a long time, but, and I'm proud of this dude because you've made it, I'm sure you want to keep making it,
yeah.
But you've done a lot, you flew in just yesterday from New York to do this with me. And I thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Of course, that. Jimmy, anything for you,
but yeah, good stuff. So let me read your bio. Okay.
Go ahead.
Get the spectacles on just to make sure I don't miss anything here, So you're a Detroit native. After touring with Dave Chappelle, Joe Rogan, Sebastian Maniscalco, and then most recently Bob Saget, Mike Young started headlining his own markets in all cities right around the country. You've developed a relationship and an edge and observation, taking a lot of different angles. You've been on Late Night with Craig Ferguson, Live at the Gotham, The Carson Daly Show, and Mike's directed several feature films using his comedy voice, also in big screen like My Man is a Loser, which I love that. That was starring John Stamos and Michael Rappaport. And you also did The Stand-Up Guy.
Yep.
And something on Netflix.
Yeah, something.
What was it?
A Stand-Up Guy. Yeah, a Stand-Up Guy. It actually was on Netflix.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, for 2 years.
Okay. Stand-Up Guy. Yeah. And
fun movie. You should see it. We'll watch it later.
Yeah, well, we will. We'll pull that up and watch it later because there's a lot. But the big thing is, I know you're always at the Comedy Store. You just came from New York from a gig that you do weekly, right?
Yeah, stand-up is my favorite out of all that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love making the movies. I love directing and writing, but stand-up is still it all comes from that. It all came from that was the beginning.
Yeah.
As you know from your living room, we were 10 years old, and I played with all your nice toys. And
yeah.
I was just a poor kid
Stretch
down the street.
Armstrong, and then you're making a joke about the guy's body and no hair, and who knows, what else we were getting into, but. Yeah. But, this is organic for you. It's innate in you because, you were that guy. You were that guy. It's why you got all the girls.
Listen, just in your area, in your neighborhood, which was the nicest neighborhood. By the way, Jimmy, I'm going to call you Dr. Lowerenz, and sometimes I'm going to call you Jimmy because I've known you for so long.
Two-person. I remember I did do a PSA, right? I did a PSA.
Yeah, you prefaced everything.
Exactly. So, obviously we're getting into this, which we're going to get into some serious stuff.
Of course.
But just still maintain respect for me.
Of course. Are you kidding? I have nothing but respect. But our dads were best friends, and Jimmy's dad was the best, and he was doing great, made money when we were kids, and he was like my dad's first friend that had all the the nice house and all the cool and Jimmy had all the great toys, and I just remember being that kid who was probably annoying to you because I was always at your house playing with all your stuff.
Yeah.
And just
you and
you and your
we had fun.
You and your brothers are looking at me like, when's this kid gonna leave the house and leave my freaking remote control cars alone?
Like who is he again?
Well,
when did he show up?
Dad, why are you getting this random kid Christmas gifts?
Yeah, exactly.
And he's not my brother, but he is now.
Exactly. No, man. No, gosh, how awesome though it is, seriously, to like have all the memories and all the times. And share good and bad times, because we both had ups and downs. You know, if you're here this long, shit's going to happen.
Totally.
Right? And, but so I do value our friendship and our
as do I. And I should give an upfront apology, because I am a hypochondriac and I'm working on it.
We're going to get into that.
No, but I want to give an upfront apology for all the times that I've called you just for ailments.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because I love you. You're my brother.
Yeah.
And I like you for so much more than just the ailments that you could help me with.
But my paying customers, it never bothers me, by the way, but my paying customers, which I'm going to get into this in 1 second, because this is good. Thank you for bringing this up.
You're welcome.
My paying customers, which I'm helping and nurturing and coaching and deep into their chronic disease and all that. And then I pull up my phone, because it's lunch or something. And I get this, I don't even know what orifice it is, or it's zoomed in, what is this? Or it's the deep part of your throat. And I don't know, is this yours or somebody you were with last night?
I'm sorry.
I don't even know what's going on. And then you give me this detailed, and it's like, by the way, not hello, not like how you been? It's been a few months. Not like, it's just like, here's.
I go right to death.
You do. Yeah. And you're like, I think I'm dying. I need to talk to you and see you.
And you've been smart enough to know to just tell me, start with a psychiatrist and then come to me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I'm that cold, but yes.
But by the way, I am sorry for sending you random throat pictures.
It's entertaining.
And random pictures of my tongue when I think it's discolored, because I care more about you than it leads on.
Yeah.
I already know you're good. I know how you live. Yeah. You wake up to turmeric. You got orange juice on the counter ready to go. There's a banana in your car when we got here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know you're all right. And look at you. You look strong. You're good.
Well,
let's worry about me.
We're going to get into you, believe me. And I'm going to have 5 episodes on this because it's so much.
I can't wait for a 10-part series.
Right, exactly. So, but I'm going to say this, though, because this is a story that didn't happen that long ago. You sent me some stuff. Right, you said with a picture or a text or whatever.
Yeah.
And I never blow you off, but I was like rolling my eyes a bit or whatever. So I said, just come in. Let's get some labs. Just we'll deep dive in you. We'll make sure you don't miss anything. Okay. But I'm sure it's nothing, and I know how we are, and so we openly talk about this.
Yes.
So and then you proceed to come to the office.
Came in.
You came in. You're here, and he goes to the front desk. He goes, "I'm here for Jimmy." And the girls are like, who are you? Who's Jimmy? Yeah. I don't even know who Jimmy is, but, Dr. Lewerenz or Dr. Jim or whatever. Okay, so then they're like, all right. So you get in the back, and we do our stuff, and we, et cetera. Okay. Yeah. And I tell the girls what labs to draw. Do you even remember this?
I'm not sure, because I've been there multiple times, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. So the nurses come out to me and they go, Doc, your friend, he's got no license. He's got no insurance card. He's got nothing on him. So what do you want us to do? Because you guys send the labs to the hospital, to the laboratory.
Yeah, it costs money.
And I'm like, I went in the room and I go like this, Mike, the fact that you showed up here as an adult with no ID, no license, no nothing, I thought to myself, you are fine. This is it. You're fine. You're fine, because if you were right, I'm like, you're fine. You have nothing to worry about, because the fact that you came back, obviously, and all that. But
all my cards were up to date. Everything was fine. Got my license straight.
Oh, I love that, though. I just love that.
I do remember that.
Yeah. So you never did it again, but that was that was awesome. So can you give me a little bit, just because I don't want to miss this, and it's such a great opportunity. Is you've done some big stuff, and I really mean that. Like, I always brag about you, like, you got to see some of your movies, and you got to check you out and stuff. But what's going on now? Like, what's going on in your world in comedy, and what you're working on, and what you just did?
Yeah, so I just got done directing my third movie, writing and directing my third film. So I did My Man Is a Loser. We did for Lionsgate,
which I do love that movie.
Thanks. It was
If you haven't
fun.
seen it, you got to see that movie. It's a great movie.
It's on Stars right now, actually. It's,
Okay.
it's like movies like they run like
Well,
it'll be on Amazon for a while, then it'll go to Stars, and then then you'll see it on an airplane.
Yeah.
So My Man is a Loser was my first one. That was fun. And then I wrote and directed a stand-up guy for Netflix. And then this one's called Stealing Jokes. So I just finished it. And
How appropriate too.
yeah, Stealing totally apropos. It was fun. It's about 4 comedians that go on the road. They become bandits. They rob a comedy club, which is every comedian's dream is to rob a comedy club.
Pay him back.
Pay him back.
Yeah.
It's a revenge tale. It's Ocean's 11 for comedians.
Okay, love it.
Sebastian's in it. Michael Rappaport's in this one again. I work with him a lot. This kid, Davis, Jeff Dye. Great fun indie cast.
Yeah.
Action comedy. And just finished it, wrapped it, and so we just got our trailer done, and now this one will be out, in 2024 sometime. And I love doing it. I love the writing process. I love directing, but it all really comes from stand-up. So my life is basically touring as a stand-up, and then when I get a writing gig, I spend my days disciplined writing, and then when it's time to direct, I'm basically off the road, for that chunk of time.
Yeah.
And it's stressful, and it's great that I'm here talking to Dr. Jim because there's stress that comes with trying to make a movie. There's stress that comes with everybody's job.
For sure.
And my thing is probably learning better techniques to deal with it and keeping up with my health and just keeping, being healthy first and then going to work.
Yeah.
As opposed to letting work beat me down. And then coming to you with a picture of my tongue and going, Jimmy, fix this, because is my tongue related to my foot? Because I got a problem on the foot and also my tongue.
Yeah.
So
there's some iridia there.
Yeah,
that's probably connected, but
I hear the body's connected everywhere.
Yeah.
So man, I just been doing stand up, and I'm just kind of in that zone now where people are like, what do you like better, stand up or making movies? I feel like they're like the same thing.
Yeah.
They're just different expressions, different ways to express.
Yeah, for sure.
I love it all, and I'm lucky to do it. And like when we were kids, I just liked making people laugh.
Yeah.
And I learned at an early age that, unfortunately, I saw some, tragedy in my life at a young age. And I basically said to myself, life could be short, and I am going to do what I want to do in this world.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just, do the job that I enjoy. And if I can make a living at it, great. And there were many times coming up as a stand-up where I was like, please give me a sign and tell me to go home. You know what I mean? Yeah. But the sign was always keep going.
Right.
Because
I just talked literally last episode or two about, not that you were in this, but I quoted something and I said, how does that make you feel? And I think it was a physician I had, and I said, when you're in hell, just keep going.
Yeah.
Because, it'll get better.
Yeah.
And you'll get to where you want to get, but that's so true, so accurate.
It's so true.
Yeah.
And it's almost like embrace the hell for a second.
Yeah.
Like embrace that moment. And you never know these things until you live through them.
Yeah.
It's like we were talking.
But you're getting to do, though, what you love.
Yes.
And so many people, because, not to sidetrack this, but there's a book called it's basically about where people live the longest, the centurions, the blue zones. And one of the things in that book is about having passion and having purpose. And, and I just read this book even about the psychology of money. It's funny is like happiness and success.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with money.
No.
Has everything to do with that you're doing what you like.
Yep.
When you want to do it, with who you want to do it, how much you want to do it, and forever how long.
Yeah.
And that's what you do.
That is what I do.
Yeah.
And
Not that it's easy, but it's what you do.
No, but it's interesting because ironically, I really do feel like it came from just kind of seeing a lot of, tough things as a kid.
Yeah.
And just making that early decision. And I feel I'm very fortunate, and I probably need to take a breath every now and then. And instead of complaining and being stressed, I should just, enjoy the small wins and enjoy, you know what I mean? Just hug myself once in a while and go, it's okay.
Right.
You are doing what you love doing.
Well, and a lot of people don't even have excuses, but the balls to even make that leap.
Yeah.
And so I commend you, because the reality is, you could be in a situation that you're unhappy
Totally.
and you're not doing what you love, and you're like, struggling a bit, and you're like, what am I doing? And, and that's, and that's not I know that's not the case.
Yeah,
and you have a good time, and you make people laugh. I mean, in a lot of ways, what could be better?
Nothing.
Make people laugh, even if it's only for an hour or two or whatever it is.
Yeah.
We're
both healing people.
In fact, in a lot of ways, for real.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. Tell your mom that.
I will.
Say, Mom, I'm going to go heal somebody today.
Dr. Young.
She's going to go, what?
I'm Dr. Young.
She's going to go, get you. Yes.
By the way, I will say this. So in my new movie, I wrote a part for a doctor. So I actually researched, just for the role, I researched.
I tap out. I'm done.
But I researched what laughter does to the immune system and what happiness does for the immune system. And so I got this, I went and researched a bunch, and I wrote the monologue for this actor who plays a doctor. Okay. And he goes into this whole thing about, laughter helps the immune system on a cellular level and da-da-da. But
it's real, though. No.
It's very real.
It's very real.
The joy, listen, man, you've known me since I was 0, and I've always, and you have a great attitude too, Jimmy. You know what I mean? Joy and fun has always been part of the equation. Oh. We had fun dads. You know what I mean? My dad was fun. Your dad was fun, and they worked and they did well and they succeeded, but fun was part of the equation.
For sure. And bringing us along.
Yes.
I mean, so, literally fathers out there, by the way, pay attention, whether you're young or old. The biggest gift you can give your kids, and I know you lost your father young, how old were you?
20.
So, that's young, man. I mean, that's a boy.
Yeah.
In the big picture,
Yeah.
And, but he and my father, they brought us. They brought us around.
Vegas.
But like Southfield Athletic Club,
yep.
fights and Vegas, and to the movie, like whatever. But they weren't kind of rolling on their own, and like they were like bringing the kids along, for fun and stuff. And in fact,
it was like their pride and joy was doing that. Because I just remember like your dad's like just like the way they would say it, like, "Come on, boy," you know what I mean? Like we were like their boys.
Right.
Get over here, boy.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like they would talk to us like we were almost like their dog.
Right.
But like they loved having us around.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because otherwise they they were full adults doing fun things. Yeah. I mean, not many kids, and I don't even really say this often, but like not many kids our age in our teens get to do things like go to championship boxing matches, go to Las Vegas and stay in a 4-bedroom suite.
You're making me do something. You're making me do something. You're making me do something. No, keep talking.
Yeah.
Keep talking. Here we go.
Listen, Jimmy and I, straight up, we got to go to Vegas to see Tommy Hearns fight in championship fights. Our dads would leave us, Kronk boxing. Our dads would leave us in hotels in Vegas with a card that was for your food.
Yeah.
And these are experiences that they trusted us with. Yeah. We were just teenage kids. By the way, it just organically happened. I wasn't even planning this. But by the way, Kronk boxing, legendary boxing gym, Emmanuel Stewart, rest in peace. Your dad took care of Emmanuel. He took care of all the fighters. And by the way, he brought my dad along. Mm-hmm. And so they in turn brought us along. And so I was already prepped to go to, if I had to go to Hollywood, and there was I wasn't nervous because I would meet my Hollywood buddies and they're like, "Hey, we're going to Vegas." Right. And I would have to kind of like be quiet about it and not even say, "That's great that we're going to Vegas." Right. But I stayed in a 4-bedroom suite at Caesar's Palace when I was 15 years old.
Totally ruined.
Ruined the suite.
Totally ruined. I ruined my kids too, by the way. No, but I mean, ruined. You're ruined because once you experience that, like,
there's no going back.
Well, there's no going up. Dude.
I'm not going to the rafters.
Yeah. I mean, what's the biggest? I mean, since we're on this, organically, literally.
Yeah.
But I did wear this. Is intentional because I knew, hey, we're going to talk a little bit about.
I want
boxing.
That shirt in a large.
Yeah. You'll probably pull it off me
because I know that's a medium.
Yeah. Take it easy. You're like drooling anyway. But what was the best fight you went to with our parents or with your dad on your own, or that you remember, or just fight experience? Even could have been training camp or whatever it was.
Oh man, that's a great question. The best one, oh man, I can't remember who Tommy was fighting, but I went.
Tommy Hearns, by the way.
Yeah, Tommy Hearns was fighting for a championship, probably defending his title. Las Vegas. I don't even remember the year. But the best one was your dad and our friend, his friend Lane. They had a 4-bedroom suite in Caesar's Palace, and they were like, "Michael, come stay with us." Mm-hmm. And me and Freddie, your brother, we got to stay in the room, and like it was just literally like I was looking in an aquarium. I was just like, here is Tommy Hearns in the corner coming out, and like, you know, I didn't even say anything. And then Obakar, who was getting ready to fight for a championship, he was running through, and then the president of Caesar's Palace was coming in, and I was just in my mind, I was just fly on the wall. And I remember Lane handing me a card and going, "This is for your food. If you're eating anywhere, you just show them this card." And me, all of a sudden, I was like 16, 17, eating steak, lobster for breakfast,
you're just,
and living life.
Running around. Now, this is what's so funny, too, is, so, you know, again, the story, just to give a little backdrop here, is my dad was the physician for Kronk Boxing. And if you don't know Kronk Boxing, Google it, look it up, because it's historic.
Greatest gym of all time. Produced the most world champions of any boxing gym, ever, probably hands down.
And my dad went to high school with Emmanuel Stewart, which was their trainer, when all these guys were kids. They were all little kids, 13, 14, 15. Emmanuel goes to my dad's office on 6 Mile in Southfield in Detroit. And they went to high school together. And they knew each other, but they weren't buddies, whatever. But they walk in and, "Hey, you know, Doc, hey, how you been? I need some help with some fighters, and, you know, we're coming up and this and that." And these guys, there wasn't a champion yet. First champion was Helmer Kenty.
Yes.
And Helmer's a great guy, by the way. Shout out to him. He's a great, great guy.
Yeah.
Done a lot with his life, by the way.
Yep.
But anyway, but then you fast forward through all these champions, you know, Helmer, Milton McCrory, Tommy Hearns, and all, you know, I mean, I could go on to, and then
John David Jackson fought there for a while.
Dwayne Thomas.
Yeah.
All these guys. So long story short is, and here we're kids. Yeah. So this is an evolution of this Kronk gym. We're along for the ride and we don't even know what's going on, by the way. We're just like, oh, we're going back to Vegas. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Okay. Oh, we're getting on a plane. I mean, I can remember getting on planes in first class where the chair would turn around.
Yeah.
And there was a table.
Yeah.
Where they, you know, would have food, that they bring you food.
Yeah.
This is normal to me, by the way. And I'm like, this is not normal.
No.
This is not normal.
Right.
But anyway, anyway, so I just want to paint the picture of what the scene was like. And
it's legendary.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
It's beyond just like local. Yeah. It's beyond local Detroit. This is something. Kronk Boxing and your dad handling Emmanuel and Tommy Hearns and all the fighters. Yeah. This is something that's like at the center of something, but it goes global because these fighters were all world champions, known all over planet Earth. Emmanuel ended up training Julio Cesar Chavez. He trained Evander Holyfield. He trained Tyson, Tyson Fury, Klitschko's. Yeah. Everybody. Yeah. So everything came through there, and your dad was the go-to guy.
Yeah.
And
in fact, Rob, your brother, sent me this just last week because, you know, we got a lot of love, obviously, for our parents and he must have saw something on Instagram, and I think it was Caesar's Palace, and it was when Dwayne Thomas won his title.
When he beat John the Beast Mugabe.
Probably, yeah. And so he sent me this Instagram clip just like last week, and he's like, "Hey, Jimmy, watch this. It's just cool. I just saw your dad." And, you know, he's in the ring after the fight, you know, and they're hugging and all that stuff. And it's so funny because my dad looks so young. Like, you know, I mean, Elvis chops. Yeah. You know, but still a stud, you know, back then.
Stud.
And I'm like, oh, Dad, man. I was like, man, I wanted to be there and hug him, you know.
Of course.
And stuff. But it was like so cool because to have that even just historically on film.
Please. Dr. Lorenz's dad was the first celebrity I knew. He was the first celebrity in our world.
Yeah.
And he brought my dad along. And just gave us the most fun childhood you could have, and it just let me know for life. I'm like, I'm going to, because I was already like in love with comedy, but I'm like, and going to Vegas was when I first like saw my first comedian.
Yeah.
You know?
I never thought of that like that, but that's interesting. Yeah.
No, but it had a major impact on me. Fun, and like comedy was my love because I was just a class clown type of kid, which you knew. But like your dad opening up that world to us and me seeing what that was, Vegas and celebrity and shows and live entertainment, I fell in love with it early, and that was it. It was game on. I was having that thought in 6th grade. Yeah. You know, and we had so many fun vacations, but back to your point of fathers, take your kids along. If you like your kids.
Well,
every now and then you get a dad that's not happy with his kid.
Well, you can also take, I'm sure they took breaks, you know, like, you ain't going.
Of course, they went believe me, they went without us a few times.
Yeah, he ain't going this time.
For sure.
You know, and we had tears and everything, but just, having your, that, it doesn't even matter what it is. It's just having that presence. Like I always felt like with my kids, you know, I have 4 kids, and most of them are now, adults and, tell me what to do.
Yeah.
But,
you work for them now.
yeah, I'm hustling for them. I got bills to pay. They keep bringing me the bills, It's like, wait a second. And funny thing is I just gave it back to one of them the other day.
Yeah, for
He's
sure.
like, Dad, what do you think about this? I'm like, perfect for you to pay.
Hey, see how that feels.
Yeah, exactly. So it makes you stronger. I said, don't worry. You'll be okay.
Character.
But no, but it's just showing up. And I literally, there was times, when you're growing up that you wonder, like, if you're being a good dad and if you're showing up enough, and of course, perspective, they're going to say I didn't, you're like,
you think?
Dad, you were never, no, but the reality though is that I am a little proud of that to the degree that I did. But I mean, it came from, so meaning we talk about here in the Deep Six, the 6-point model, so many different things, but like how just that makes a generational impact.
Absolutely.
And because I have full confidence, a bus takes me out today outside of here, all my kids are going to be great parents. Only just because I was present, just like my parents were very present.
Exactly.
And yours were very present.
Very present.
I know your mom's a little more present now that you wish.
She's so present.
She's
She's in the studio right now. You just can't see it.
She's making us eggs out there. But
she's telling me to take my
hat
hat
awesome,
off.
by the way. Our moms are awesome. So
yeah,
we're lucky, but it is fun, how your parents evolve.
Yes.
The evolution.
Yeah. I mean, listen, don't think there wasn't like a 1 year period or 2 years where my parents were like, we don't like you as a kid. You know what I mean? Don't think I didn't have my own, run-ins with my own parents.
Right,
but
right.
For the most part, it's funny because sometimes, people be like, Mike, you really get along with people. Like and I always say it's because my dad got along with all types of people. Yeah. Like your dad. Mm-hmm. They had there was no judgment game in their bones.
Well, community and people lovers. And I think that's important for your health. And, we're all different. Our perspectives are all different. You take out the ego, you try to, it's innate in all of us, but you take it out of it and you just embrace the people. And I think we both got that from them.
Totally.
If I think right now, if I just take like a second and think about your father.
Yeah.
And he was a great guy, funny guy, funny. I could tell some, oh my gosh, I won't though. Your mother will kill me. But anyway.
My dad had humor for sure.
I will keep that for just later.
Yeah.
But no, if I think of him, it's his face smiling. It's literally just him smiling and or him and my dad laughing and he was just always happy and smiling.
Yeah. A lot of laughs. Yeah. A lot of laughs. That was like his number one go-to thing, making people happy. Yeah. Cracking people up and cracking up. Yeah. My dad was like a hard laugher. Oh, yeah. His laugh was like a one, like a ha. Yeah. He had like the hard laugh. Right. And so, yes, I think we were very fortunate.
Very fortunate, very fortunate. And this just, I have this quote and I do want to read it to you because it made me just think of this and, how our words, just like laughter and that, have such an impact. So tell me what this how this resonates with you, if you will. And it's a quote by Rudyard Kipling. Don't know really who that is.
Philosopher, writer, author.
Amazing. Yeah. Thank you. See, you did the research for me.
I know who he is.
Words are, of course, the most powerful entertainment and comedy. Excuse me.
Do you want me to read it? And give me your
I'm going to pass this on. I'm going to pass this on because my page turned. Yeah. But no. It says words are, of course, the most powerful things used by mankind, just like a drug. And it's interesting because
I'm in the business of words.
Yeah, comedy,
and that's funny because that's one thing that you have to, we make mistakes as kids. You throw your words around, they're negative. You say mean things as a kid, and you don't learn until you change your word game, until you change your message, until you change what you're saying. You don't learn till later when you start being positive with your words or using them for comedy. Words is my life. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm forever editing my words. I'm fine tuning my words. Right. I'm a writer. You know what I mean? So words are everything. But it's funny that the power they do have. Yeah. Because, there were years when I was I probably had a little teenage angst, angry. I had a probably 2-year run of angry words. Mm-hmm. But when they started to turn and go positive, my whole life, like lifted up and like became better. And
it's how the mindset, man.
Mindset
is everything.
And the stress came away and the stomach felt better and the health got better. Stress.
Well, and when we talk about that, like, so our deep six, obviously, is our 6-point model.
Yeah.
And I've already had some people kind of like they send me messages since our podcast and like ask like, because we're dealing with all encompassing health issues, genetics, hormones, gut health and diet, toxins and how you detoxify, mind-body connection, and structural issues. And these are like the health foundation of how we live, how we can be successful and how we can do things. But in that mind-body connection, and I always say this to people, and I always feel like when I have a new patient and I talk about this, and all my practitioners that are at Longevity Health Institute talk about this, I always like say, you got to talk about that again, like 3 to 6 months later, even though they're doing better and all that, because these are all connected, this matrix of these systems. But I will tell you the one thing that's not in a lab test, not in a, high end, CT, MRI, not in a live blood analysis, not in, deep dive metabolic stuff, is the words and the mindset that you can't test.
Yep.
But when people, and we can coach them a bit or influence them or guide them to change that, just like you said.
Yep.
What did you said?
My life got exponentially better. The stress came off me. My stomach felt better.
That's what you said. Your stomach felt better.
I know that sounded crazy when I said it, but it's true.
No, it's not true. It's not. It's actually so medically accurate because the gut-brain connection is huge. A quick example is this, and I'm not get too deep in this, but is like we make our neurochemistry, we make our serotonin from our gut health, from the amino acids that we absorb and all. So everybody thinks that we got all these chemicals floating in the brain and all that stuff, and that's all it is. If you have a bad diet, your bad gut health, and bad choices, I'll say, and your absorption's bad with aging or whatever it is, we call it dysbiosis and all that. But you actually then don't make the same brain chemistry.
Right.
And also, though, to your point, you change the mind. It's a feedback loop. You change the mind. You calm the mind. We call it the autonomic nervous system. You calm the gut. Now the gut absorbs better. And all of a sudden, you're feeding the system.
The circle.
Yeah.
It makes total sense, but it only makes sense when you apply it.
Yeah.
And it's so... I don't even know what it takes to like get into something like that. It's almost, you and I were talking on the way here, like the combination of science and art, right? Like you have your science, you have your data, you have and then there's like a little art. There's a lot of art, thinking outside the box and trying new things. But for me, it's funny because I was probably like a neurotic kid anyway. And I like, as a kid, I had stomach. I always had like a sore stomach.
Well, you were, okay.
I was like a little neurotic.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I always remember having like an upset stomach.
Which is funny because if my perspective of being with you was like, you were like, man, you had some ego. You had some game. I mean, whether up at Boyne Mountain and we're hustling, whatever.
Oh, I'll talk to girls. I've been talking to girls since I was in seventh grade.
Like, don't worry, Jimmy. This guy's being I got him. Don't worry. Like you were like, so it's funny that you're saying deep down though, you had this like neurotic and then the gut and everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would. Yeah. That is interesting. Yeah. I was neurotic, but I also, we all got two sides, right? It was Mike Young versus young Mike. My alter ego was battling. They were battling each other. Yeah. But through you're the doctor, but like I started meditating years and years ago, and like just trying to like get into my body and like feeling in deeper breathing and just trying the calming techniques. And just reading up as much as I could on health because I saw unhealthy things around me. And, like I said, my dad passed at a young age. And so it just kind of flipped a switch on me to go, just how can I maximize my health at all times? And I felt like the meditation was big. Calming my nervous system was big. Diet was monstrous. You know what I mean? Because, when we were growing up, no one really talked about diet that much. And we didn't grow up in the 50s, but even growing up playing sports, nobody was like, Mike, maybe don't eat before hockey.
Right.
You know, in my mind, I was like, oh, I got to go eat before the game for energy, as if the energy kicked in 20 minutes later.
Right. Like, so you go get like McDonald's or whatever, some
Coney
fast food
Island.
or Coney Island.
I was eating Coney before every hockey game. I'm
my
like, why
gosh.
does my stomach hurt every day of my life at hockey?
That poor bench.
A terrible bench. All the kids.
That bench, what it had to go through with you on the bench after Coney Island.
Terrible.
I don't even want to.
No.
You just destroyed your microbiome of your gut. But that's good. That's good. My son did that, by the way, too. And he told me later that the stuff he would do, you know, in high school, this when he was in high school, that he would do, you know, pre-hockey. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, you knew better. And
he knew better.
Yeah, but he just, you know, kids, you know, teenagers and all that.
That's interesting.
He knew better.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but
anyway, we didn't.
Yeah, but he would tell me about his gut, and his gut was killing him, and how he literally have to leave. He told me this, some games that I guess might have not been at those games, but he literally left the ice.
Yeah.
For the game because he was like, his gut was hurting so bad.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you're killing me. I love you, but you're killing me.
We got to start these kids out young, Jimmy. Yeah. We got to start these.
No, but this
is a world of kids that need to know what you're talking about.
100%. Well, listen, very commonly, my concierge patients, it's funny that you're bringing this up, but my patients because I end up seeing a lot of their family and their children and that, not intentionally. It's just like, I don't ask them or whatever, but they're like, hey, do you think you could help our 13-year-old or our 15-year-old or what have you, or even our 10-year-old, because they're complaining about their gut, or they're complaining about, something, they're tired all the time, and, we're not sleeping, and, and there's a lot of reasons for this,
Yeah.
And it is huge because that child would have not got to me or our practice to get that foundation built. And just like my children,
yeah,
it doesn't resonate when they're 10. I mean, they do this, they do that, they're pooping better, they're this, who knows, their energy's better, whatever, their mood's better, their acne's better, you name it. So it works. But, they go rogue. They go after, but they come around. Like my older kids, they're like, they know what to eat.
Exactly.
They're like, I don't have to tell them. They're like, and if they don't, they suffer, and they're like, yeah, I just shouldn't have done that. I went out last night, or what have you. But you're laying that foundation of health. And It is a generational change. It really can be impactful because, like you said, that wasn't around for us.
No.
The science, the knowledge,
Yeah. And my mom still stays old school. I'm like, Mom, you've got so much bread in the house. You've got bagels and bags, you know what I mean, in the freezer. Yeah. You got a loaf of this.
She's going to run out.
And I'm like, yo, it's not good. But what am I going to tell her now at, 79 years old? Yeah. She's not going to listen. Yeah. But, she's like, my stomach, it's like, just throw the bread out.
Yeah.
Throw it out.
Right.
I'll throw it out. Don't you throw my bread out. You know what I mean?
Pay for that, right?
But if people knew from a very young age about the gut-brain connect, which I didn't know till later, you know what I mean? It is such a real thing.
So huge.
So
huge. And the fact where it gets compounded by stress. And that can be at any age, because I'll see a teenager with their stresses with sports, in life, girlfriends, boyfriends, what have you, parents' pressure.
Yeah, the anxiety levels are off the chart.
Yeah, and they're type A, they're on their phones, and that's like social media, all the negative stuff they see, and the fear of missing out and all that stuff that's happening. Well, those are stress responses, and you lose literally a mucin lining in the gut. So the gut lining, the epithelium break down. And that's what can create the gut problem, is literally just their stress. Not that, I'm not condoning that they're eating fast food and pizzas and Coney dogs. What I'm saying though is that alone could cause the trouble.
Yep.
And so when you fix that, you start fixing the whole system.
That's that makes total sense. Yeah. And I wish I knew, I wish I knew then what I know now. It's dang, if you go back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
It all brings me to, you start the day off with a good movement, right. you feel smarter throughout the day. Yeah. It all comes down to that.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Who are the most unhappy? I won't say miserable, but people, constipated people.
By the way, that's totally true. I believe
you get older.
Yep,
and it's so common.
You're holding anger, anger and constipation go hand in hand. They have to.
Yeah, it's the beginning.
Lighten up your life, bro.
And your stool.
And just by the way, there you go. There's your new bumper sticker.
Right. I love that. I'm going to change the title of my new book.
Yeah,
I like that. lighten up your life, and it's just got a picture of like a toilet. You know?
There you go.
Yeah, I like
lighten
this.
it up.
I like this. I'll give you credit on that. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Don't worry about that. Yeah, I like that.
10%.
Well, super. We'll talk. We'll negotiate.
Well, listen, going on the road, you have to figure out ways to decompress and de-stress. And obviously, you know, we grew up playing sports our whole life, so that's, you know, working out is a natural thing that we love. Yeah. But checking on the gut health was the second level of that. Right. And for me, it's super important. And so I try to stay healthy. And, you know, I feel like...
you do. No, you do. I do want to say this because not everybody does this. And I'm sure it's the boxing influence. It's the Kronk influence, you know, you're still, I mean, hitting the bags. You're still, I mean, you know.
I stay active.
Yeah. No, you're still, and you got to. And it keeps your mind and body sharp and all that. And you still then once in a while can pull some tail, you know, after your shows.
I mean, listen, I tell you, listen.
Do you have like an entourage, like waiting? Like, do you get off and then?
Listen, Jimmy, if
I'm lined up,
I heard there's chronological age and there's physiological age.
I know.
I only tell girls my physiological age.
We did that test.
Yeah. I think I'm 39.
Biologically, yeah.
You don't believe me? Yeah. Call my doctor.
I'm here to attest that he's 39 inside.
Inside, I'm 39. Yeah. Call Dr. Jim Lewerenz if you want to know how old I am.
We'll pull it up. We'll pull it up.
Physiologically, I feel healthy.
Yeah, no.
Oh, well, it's fun. It's funny.
That is a real test, by the way, that we do.
Yeah.
It's actually a very excellent, reputable from Harvard and Stanford. We test your DNA, your telomeres, and all that. Yeah. We can tell your biologic versus your chronologic and how well you're aging. But I'm sorry.
And I felt that, like, even when I, you know, with my ex, I'd go to like her kids' baseball games, and I'd see like these fathers in their 30s. Yeah. They just look constipated. I don't know what they're going through, but they just looked. They're out of shape at 35.
You know
what I mean?
It's so common.
I was 15 years older than they were, and I was in the best shape at the baseball game.
Yeah.
You know, this is whatever up near Lansing.
Right.
But the point is, you know, no one's making it out alive.
No.
While we're here, I'm going to try to optimize. Yeah. You know, you've been a huge influence on the way you live your life. You're not just the doctor. You're living what you're preaching. So that's. Anytime I go to the doctor and he's coughing, it's always a tough look. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's got the belly. You know, I've written that into my act before, but like I have gone, like in LA, I went to my doctor and he's like, I don't know, I can't shake it. Right. I'm like, what do you think? I don't know, bro. What do you think it might be? Like, you're the doctor. Right. You know what I mean? You want your doctor feeling good, living by what he preaches.
You'd think.
And
you would think.
You do that.
Yeah. I actually will get, and it's shocking, you know, in 2024, it's shocking. I'll get patients still coming in. And one of the reasons I'm like, so how can we help? We always set goals. We talk about our model. We talk about how we can help them. And they'll go, you know, my doc's just not working for me anymore. Like him, great guy or whatever. But the guy's like, you know, 80 pounds overweight, telling me to lose weight. Yeah. You know, he's miserable when he comes in. He's not what he was 5-10 years ago. Now, don't get me wrong. Our profession is, I'm blessed. I mean, I'm blessed. I got lucky, carved out stuff I'd love to do, and I'm passionate about, and I always have been, you know, this athletic and sports and all that. And, but, you know, so they're grinding and they're doing good stuff. I'm not trying to, you know, but when you have that, when you have a practitioner that's guiding you, that's like
stressed out beyond belief,
stressed, or I don't know how focused they are on your health. They're kind of like worried about their next 30 patients, you know, down the list, and you got 5 or 10 minutes. And by the way, you know, your kind of stuff that you bring up, they're going to laugh at you and say, listen, the foot and tongue aren't connected. They just pay your copay.
Totally. I've wasted so many people's time.
It's okay. Yeah.
I feel like every 10 minutes I got to apologize.
Yeah.
Because I will just text Jimmy randomly. I will text Dr. Lewerenz randomly, no matter where I'm at in the country. I could be doing a show in Cincinnati. It's 1:00. You know what I mean? Something weird happened. Right. It could be nothing.
Don't worry.
One nostril's plugged. Jimmy, is this? Am I dying?
Yeah, but this is the truth. I don't want to just pick on you. I have another entertainer, without saying names, that's in the music world. Hand to God, this is what happened. Unbelievable. Because it was late. But if he calls me, you know, and, you know, or texts me or whatever, you know, I'm like, it's just, you know, he's not hitting me up every day.
Yeah.
So hey, what's up, man? And he goes, hey, you got to talk to this person. Okay. Listen, they got some issues, and I'm trying to direct them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're all like, and so short of the story though is that like he puts this other musician he's on tour with on the phone, and I don't know who it is. Like, he doesn't say. By the way, Emmanuel did that to me also, by the way,
Some fighters?
With Marshall Mathers, with Eminem.
Oh, wow.
Just shows up at the office like, hey, no preface. Here comes 8 huge monsters and then this, 5'8", white guy.
What a moment.
Okay. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But anyway, I get on the phone with this guy. Don't know who he is.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm like, yeah. And he's talking. He goes, I got this internist and my internist did this and that. And he says I'm fine. And I'm like, and again, we won't get into it, but I was like, well, did he do this? Did he check your hormones? Did he check a few vitamin levels? You're on the road, so I know your sleep's not great. And what are you using for that? And I mean, respectfully, is it a sleeping pill? Is it, benzo like Xanax or whatever, or are you smoking, THC, whatever it is, but what are we doing? And he's like, well, yeah. And I put the model a bit quickly just over the phone. This guy was like, I'm going to call you next week. But he was like, he kind of was like blown away. And then my buddy Matt told me this, that, the entertainer, anyway, that I was on tour with, he goes, he wants to know if you're crazy, me, or if this is really, really, really true stuff. And I'm like, well, hey, 25 years and a lot of patients and many,
thousands,
and it works. It's not rocket science. It's just listening to the patient and giving them a model that works and correcting systems.
Yeah.
And it's just funny. Here's this guy on a huge tour, making huge money, people idolizing him, maybe not as much as you.
I mean,
but close.
Yeah. I mean,
and he's like getting, he's getting the guy chain smoking with a belly, and like telling him like, well, we did your basic, your cholesterol's fine. I don't know. It's probably just that you're on the road.
Yeah.
Well, no shit. I mean, we know he's on the road, not sleeping.
Right. The flying itself does things. You know what I mean? Like just being in those flights and the dehydration that can compound.
Oh, yeah.
And you gotta just up your game, especially as an entertainer. Like when you're traveling a ton, you gotta even up your level of workouts and hydration and all that stuff. And you let it slip once in a while, and you wake up dehydrated, and you're like, why am I getting an IV?
Right.
When you know what I mean?
Yeah. So we're gonna do something here.
Okay.
It'd be fun. Okay.
I'll do whatever you want.
This is just how many people
push
know
up
this?
Contest?
Let's do it, man. Let's clear this off.
I won't win.
No, listen. This is here is. I shared this with you right here.
I love
when we
the
showed
notebook.
Up, and I said, so listen. I pulled this out.
Yeah.
Never had to use it, by the way, in my podcast or anything.
Yeah.
But this is years of like my stuff, medical, psychological,
philosophical.
Yeah. Use it for writing books.
Yeah.
Use it for stuff.
Rudyard Kipling quotes.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. There you go. Well, and so here.
Okay.
You cracked this before the show.
Yeah.
And I said, just crack it and read something.
This is Dr. Jim's journal.
Yeah.
It's called Dr. Jim's journal. I'm just going to open up to any page.
It's medical. It's, again,
medical,
it's not
personal.
like my journal necessarily about me personally, but just to read something.
Just
and then
something.
I'll tell you my thoughts.
You don't make it this far from just shaking hands. That's philosophy.
Well, I stole that, by the way.
Yeah, that's fine. You took a quote from a famous...
You know who?
No. Warren Buffett.
Who is the lead singer of Nickelback.
Really?
Yeah. When I heard that in a song, I was probably working out or something. I'm like, man,
I love that you write down random
awesome.
Song quotes.
That was amazing. I don't even care what band, I listen to tons of stuff. By the way, I'm working out this morning. Listen to my genre. You want to hear this? It's amazing.
Oh, I got another one ready.
Oh, go. Just go.
Okay. All pain brings good things. It's in the mindset.
Yeah.
All pain brings good things.
Yeah.
I like that. What is that?
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
Well, I'll tell you, but then you have to share with me too.
Yeah, well.
So you don't get, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever it is, decades, and not have pain, not have suffering.
For sure.
And, life's a journey. And of course, you've all had stuff, I mean, even if I've been blessed, by the way. I'm totally blessed. I mean, my life's like, ridiculous, especially from where we came from, we were talking about that.
Yeah.
But I had some big pains, one being a divorce, one being, some illness that it's one of the reasons I'm here and doing this and all that. And it's on my website, so I won't get into that and all that, like what kind of changed my trajectory of ER family practice, But COVID was another one when I was in COVID, like times, just because, it was heavy, dark, had a couple people commit suicide, patients, friends, it just, this, stuff like that. And, but, I always, and I think the original time when I think back to that was when I had some illness, if you will, and I couldn't figure it out. And I literally was really down about it. So I wouldn't say I really had depression. Yeah. But it was just not figuring it out and not understanding it. And doctors blowing me off that were like colleagues and all that. Driving my wife at the time nuts. I wasn't showing up as a father. Wasn't running a business well. Wasn't being a good doctor, to be honest with you, because I was focused on why I felt so tired and bowel issues, stuff we're talking about, and depressed a little bit and couldn't sleep. And not depressed because of anything in my life, but just like all of a sudden I had, I'll call it performance issues. Yeah. I mean, I don't mean in bed. Yeah. Maybe. Well, I don't know. Maybe that was my ex. Yeah. She might say, no, you had some performance issues. Let me tell you.
3 out of 7 days.
Right. It was like really bad. Well, I think it's so though empowering to, if you can keep just going and you can keep trying to dig and figure it out and listen to people and have mentors and guides and have an open mind and heart to stuff to listen and embrace a bit, you can really get through that stuff. Yeah. And then it's empowering. Of course. So I forget what it was again. It was
all pain brings positive
things. It does, because the reality is, like, what can I go back and look at these things? Yeah. And everything I just mentioned there. It does, because it changes, it puts a layer on, I think, of knowledge and wisdom. It also puts a layer on of like, and this is don't be ego, but like pride of like, hey, I got through that. Yeah. Like I can handle stuff. You know what I mean? Yes. And I got some stuff going on right now. I got a loved one right now that's, very, 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 very ill, stage 4 cancer. And, but, I don't think if you have that mindset, or if you look at like, oh man, this has been shitty and this happened to me.
If you stay in it.
You
don't want to stay in it.
It's literally, it's like the book. There's a book that's called The Body Keeps the Score.
I have it.
So did I buy it for you?
You might have.
I don't know, but I bought that book for so many people. That's why I can't remember. I gave it literally to my kids, my mom, my everybody, because that is an excellent book. Yeah. And, but I think it's just the opposite of that kind of thing. Like, the body does keep the score, but if you realize and you embrace it and move through it, and it doesn't mean in the moment I was positive about it at all.
Yeah,
it was like,
you could change the score.
Exactly. So
did you, when you were going through it, did it turn out to be a mind-body situation that you were going through that you didn't recognize, or
partially? Yeah, partially. Because it's, it all gets stress. It's a vicious cycle. Yeah. Just like our 6-point model. Yeah. I mean, I actually had some hormone stuff, had some gut stuff, had some nutrient depletion, had some, I'll call it lifestyle stuff, but that falls into like the stress. What I mean is I was racing mountain bikes, trying to be this thing that I really wasn't, because I was a doctor and a dad and a business owner. Yeah. You know what I mean? So just too many plates going, too many plates spinning. And you end up, I think just I was, but real, and I was getting into my 40s, early 40s at that time. Or I think late 30s, early 40s. But anyway, so it was all of it coming together. It was all coming together, but it all mattered. You know what I mean? Like, so when I finally found the knowledge, the training, did the deep dive and stuff that I learned and did a fellowship in functional regenerative medicine like I did. And, but that corrected it. But it's not like one was more important than the other. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, my vitamin D or B12 being low was the most important. People always want one answer, and there's often many truths.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And so it's kind of just like the whole thing. But I do wear it like I don't want to say a badge, but it's kind of like that, like it's like, a lot of good stuff. I met my wife. I got an amazing wife. Yep. We've been together for over 10 years. Got an amazing son with her. I got beautiful kids and adults and my health and my mom's 82 and healthy. Yeah. And a lot of this stuff I do believe is a evolution of just moving through it and being positive.
I wonder if there's any connection between being a more they say ignorance is bliss, but if you're like a sensitive soul, I'm a sensitive dude.
are.
You know, bro.
Oh,
I'm a crier.
I know. I got to hug you all the time. And
You know what I
shit.
mean? Like, yeah, you say, yeah, I'm a tough guy. Like, I don't mind fighting. It's just because I knew how to box. So, like, people wanted to beat me up a lot as a kid. You know what I mean? I look like Wonder Woman.
You have that face.
I got that face. I look like Wonder Woman as a boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People always tried me. So fighting, I actually like.
I think I looked at it, though, as like this, that face, by the way. It's like Mike Tyson. It's like, you have a plan. Yeah. That plan ain't going to work. I'm going to hit you there. Yeah. And your plan's going to change.
Totally changed my plan. But point being, sensitive people, I think, have probably more stomach issues, probably more, like if they really did like another creative deep dive in it and apply and like did like a study, artists probably they just feel a little more, you know what I mean? Like maybe that's why I had such a, I'm saying all this to get to the point of like, you were talking about you were going through, a tough time before you were divorced, and all these issues were happening to you. You weren't feeling right. You were lethargic. You had stomach problems. And it brings me all the way back to like, anytime I've been in a relationship, and this is not to slander any of my exes at all. They're beautiful, amazing people on their own, but we weren't right together. And when I was in a relationship that wasn't going right, I had major stomach issues, and I'm not even kidding. Like when I was living with my girl in Chicago, and I knew I wanted to go to LA to be a comedian, but her family wanted me to stay and do this thing. I was having nonstop stomach issues. And Jimmy, I'm telling you, after we broke up, as heartbreaking as the whole thing was, my freaking stomach issues went away.
Yeah.
And it happened twice out of like my many relationships, 2 that were like long-term relationships that I knew weren't the right thing. It's like when you... Listen, it just all comes back to like, check your gut. What's your gut telling you?
Yeah.
What is your gut telling you? It's really your gut is telling you.
So this is what's going to happen. You're going to meet this amazing woman.
Yeah, I can't wait today.
Today. Today. She's right outside. Oh. Okay. And you're going to wake up and you're going to have the most beautiful crap you've ever had. And you're going to be like, this is it, man.
You met the right woman when you wake up and have a bowel movement. That's the greatest.
For sure.
I'll have such a good movement. I'll go out and buy her 2 rings.
Oh, it's a
2-ring movement. It's
a 2-ring movement.
It's a 2-ring movement.
I love that. That's awesome.
Babe, if my stomach feels good with you, I'll get you whatever you want.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. So, hey, listen, I said I'd do this for you, on this, and it's awesome because you're sharing it with us and that, but what do you got for me? I know you got an ailment. We haven't talked about this before. We have not talked about this. So just so the audience knows, like, what do you got? What do you got that I feel like, dissect?
Jimmy, I feel like every time I'm like feeling at the top of my game and I start like I'm getting stronger and I'm feeling amazing, one little thing will happen, right? I almost don't even want to bring it up because it's a little disgusting, but do you bring up everything on here?
Hey, it's your show. I mean, it's technically my show.
I think I had a hemorrhoid.
Show. You had one or have one?
Well, what if there's like blood, but then there's never blood again?
Well, it didn't leave town.
Where'd it go? I thought it was the watermelon that I was eating. I was eating a bunch of watermelon. It looked a little red down there. Oh, God. I had a panic attack. I didn't want to call you because I bother you too much. So I have a cousin that's a doctor.
Listen, I'm not special. I know there's many on
the
rotary
there's
dial.
Two.
There's 2.
I have an actual first cousin who's a doctor. He gets all the pictures.
Okay.
You only get,
a couple.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get, I already know I bothered you enough. But the hemorrhoid, it was like I don't know if it's a hemorrhoid or what, but it was like, I could hear like, I saw blood.
Okay.
I panicked. And then after that, the movement was clean and clear.
Show? Did you cancel the
No,
week?
but I sat there for a minute. I thought, okay, maybe I shouldn't go on tonight. Maybe I should go to the ER. Am I going to call Jimmy? Nope. I bothered Jimmy too many times this month. Yeah. He's not getting the call. I'm going to take a picture of this, and I'm going to send it to my cousin. And then he calls me. He goes, "Cuz,
poor guy,
you got nothing to worry about." He's like, "It's probably just a hemorrhoid that had the fills with blood."
Yeah.
I just needed to understand the structure of the hemorrhoid.
Yeah. Well, it didn't leave town.
Okay.
What actually happens typically? So.
By the way, this is after I'm feeling so good for like a year of just health improvement. By the way, I've been lifting way more weights, and I think it might have had to do with that.
That's what I was just going to tell you. So a hemorrhoid, okay? I can't believe we're getting into this in the deep 6.
Hey, you said, go ahead.
But nothing's off. No, nothing. This is all
By the way,
people
that listen are going to love this because probably 40% of them had it.
Oh, everyone's had a hemorrhoid if you've been around a few decades.
Totally.
I mean, of course. So here's the thing: it's
I
a
go
venous
right to
plexus.
death. Okay.
Yeah, of course, right, of course. Your hemorrhoid is full on rectal colon cancer.
I'll be dead in 3 weeks.
Yeah. So you're literally, it's a venous plexus though, in your colon and in your rectal vault. And a venous plexus means a bunch of veins. So just like everybody out there knows like what a varicose vein is.
Yeah, vein.
With age, those veins stretch. They get, there's pressure, constant pressure on them.
Yeah.
So every time we do what's called Valsalva, grunting, well, when you lift, when you're whatever, so you're getting fit. Yeah. You're working out, you're doing your thing, you're lifting, you're doing all this stuff. So you're and you're probably doing everything right. Yeah. But you're aging
and straining.
I'm not going to tell anybody, but you're aging. And then you're doing Valsalva in the gym and you're doing these straining things, et cetera. And I'm going to tell you something that I corrected in a few patients, which I don't think, I can't recall your medical data right now.
We could pull it up.
But if you do have low hormones like DHEA, testosterone, growth hormone, you're going to have more pressure and higher blood pressure with a Valsalva maneuver, excuse me, not manure. that's but maneuver. So when you're lifting, straining, etc., which I've seen, by the way. So I've taken an older man that's in their like head, and they just, hey, is this just coincidentally or anecdotally, what's going on here? But like my hemorrhoid doesn't bother me. Well, because they're stronger, they don't have to Valsalva as much. They don't have to strain as much to lift the same amount of weight or the same exercise or what have you, sport, whatever. It's all the same. So anyway, so that's what happened with you. But that venous plexus stretched.
Yep.
And they can tear and then they can bleed. Sometimes they rip open even.
Yeah.
They don't really go away. But what happens is if you get a thrombi, which is like a clot in the vein, it'll hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll hurt like people pass out.
Wow.
From the pain. And that's why I didn't know, like, did you see somebody, did something have to happen? Because sometimes they have to be lanced and either cauterized or in that. But I will tell you, they can be very debilitating. And what's funny, when people have, they're ironic really, chronic hemorrhoids, okay? So you may need to get your insurance card and your license and come
all in my pocket right now.
Okay, because you didn't know if we were going back to the office.
If we go back to the office, I'll be so happy.
Okay, yeah. So in check your labs. I don't remember what that was, but my point though is that you, but like literally those androgen hormones can play a role into it, but they don't go away. They're benign.
Yeah.
But where you have to be careful is we're all aging, and after the age of about 50. So everybody thinks aging and cancer and everything is linear. You know what I mean? Like we age, we get cancer. It's going, no. 50s, early 50s, it's like a hockey stick. We age much quicker.
Yeah.
And cancer rates, and right now they're even more so in the youth with GI cancer.
I wonder what that is.
And it's so under 50, we're seeing more and more GI cancer, more and more head and neck cancer too. But you have to think differently because that rectal hemorrhoid could, and no, joking aside, could be a rectal cancer or a colon cancer or something like that. So this is why it's so important to, which everybody knows this and does this and should do this, is, after 50, you should be getting colonoscopies. Yeah. Because then that's the only way because you can do these, there's tests, Cologuards and all this. These have value, but they're not really looking with a camera.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I have a very, 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 very good friend under 50. We were actually in Vegas when he shared with me, and this is years ago. Yeah. But he was at the time he was under 50, like 46, I think, if I remember right. And he had some rectal bleeding. He was blowing it off and stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, guys, we were leaving. We were getting on a plane. And I just thought of this. People think probably we're in Vegas all the time. Yeah. I'm not in Vegas that much. Yeah. This is
Jimmy's opening a practice in Vegas.
Yeah. But anyway, and he's like, we're getting on the plane and he told me I'm going to have colonoscopy. And I'm like, oh, good. I said, but dude, don't worry about it, man. I'm sure it's a hemorrhoid. I'm sure you got a fissure or a tear or something like that. Don't worry about it. Well, a week later, I get the doctor calling me and saying, hey, I just did his colonoscopy. He's got bad rectal cancer. So it happens. Yeah. You know what I mean? And we know some statistics about it, toxins play a role. Obviously, genetics play a role. In fact, there's about 10% of the population have called a CHEK2 mutation, which is a genetic mutation that actually predisposes you to colon cancer. Yeah. No one gets that checked. You get in our office, we check that. But anyway, the point though is 10% is not huge, but it's there. Yeah. So you do have to take it, if you're 30, 40, 35, whatever, probably unlikely. But if you're 50 and you got rectal bleeding, you got to make sure. But hemorrhoids are easy, but they don't fly away.
Yeah, I had a colonoscopy like 2 years ago.
Proud
3 years ago.
Proud of you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
But maybe I should get another one.
Yeah.
Should I get another one?
For the hell of it,
Yeah. Will you schedule me one, please?
Well, you'll get propofol.
Oh, great.
Propofol is like, that's amazing stuff. That's what Michael Jackson loved.
I remember I said to the guy who was like shooting the propofol into me, whatever, I was like, hey man, are you like doing the thing now? Like, am I getting more tired? And that was the last thing I remember saying.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're just out.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I should get one.
No, you're good.
I think I'm good.
2-3 years, did you have a polyp?
No, I had nothing.
So nothing, you're good. Polyps, you want to look at them about every 3 to 5 years because polyps can predispose to colon cancer.
Yeah.
But this is where the thing is, which is very good for our listeners and that to understand, is a Cologuard, which you hear that box, that box. You got to make some shtick on that for your stand-up.
You think, right? I don't want to touch it. Right? I'm scooping up my own thing and putting it in a box.
Yeah. And then the thing's got a smile on it, like it's so fun. And he's got these little legs. He's walking around that. I don't know.
Box, should have a frown.
Yeah,
and say hazardous material.
It should be like the who was on Charlie Brown that had like the dirt all around him.
Yeah,
not Linus.
It wasn't Linus. Was it Linus?
Yeah, I don't know, but you know what I'm talking about. It's like a dirt storm around him the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, the box should have that. Like this thing is, But anyway, that test is valuable. But here's the thing that people, because I have all of my patients will go, when I bring it up, hey, we go through their stuff always, and I just make sure we're on point on even just screening. Screening is so key. Early detection is so key. There's no cure to cancer. It's early detection.
Yeah,
because we can cure people. And with less treatment. But if you have a polyp, so Cologuard be negative, you don't know if you have a polyp. So you don't have cancer. Okay, great. So they're telling you in real time you don't have cancer. Okay, but we don't know if you have a polyp, which means polyps can get dysplastic and turn into cancer in the next 2 to 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
So you need to know if you have polyps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So very key to do that. But you're within 2 years and you're clean.
Yeah. As a hypochondriac, I've had 2 colonoscopies.
All right.
Look, when I heard you get them at 50, I got it at 40.
Oh, I'm surprised I'm at 30 just for the pleasure.
I would have.
But for the pleasure.
I was too busy.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, it's been awesome. We could do this all day.
All day.
We could get into so many other things.
I'll read your journal all day.
I need that back by the end of the day.
I'll give it to you.
But anyway, it's an awesome pleasure to have you.
Thanks, Jimmy.
We'll be doing this again. Don't worry.
Can't wait.
And there's so much to get into, and I do appreciate your honesty and openness and vulnerability. It actually shows a big, big thing about your character. I just want you to know that, because a lot of people put up a fraud and all that, a front, and they won't talk about stuff. So, so I do.
It's not all good. Life ain't we preach joy, and I went down a road where I wanted joy and happiness to be a big part of my life and do what I loved. But there are bumps along the way, and just like that last piece we read from your journal, all pain, can teach you a lesson, or all pain
can lead to goodness.
Can lead to something good. So there's been a ton of pain, but a ton of joy.
Yeah. Amazing. Love it. So Mike, thanks obviously sharing all this stuff. It's a wealth of information and knowledge and humor. And, how would people get a hold of you, or what is your social media stuff or whatever? I know you're always looking for gigs. And by the way, not that you need a lot of them, but it better be a good one if you're hitting them up, because,
I got you.
You're worth it.
I got you. Here's the quick bio. May 11th, I'm in the Netflix Festival. Netflix is a joke comedy festival in Los Angeles, California. May 11th at the Kookaburra Lounge. So just go to netflixisajoke.com and just type in my name, Mike Young. You'll find it. And Instagram, The Real Mike Young. And that's it. We'll all be in touch right from there.
Love it.
I appreciate you big time, Jimmy. Love you, buddy.